Now we will talk about a case that had already been described in the initial demo, with overlapping of moving controls, in order to add this part of the movement. In this case, from the menu, we were using an iPad, we invoked the Event Explorer object, a work with for smart devices created manually, of which only its detail node is used, with both sections, tracks and rooms, showing the lists of tracks and rooms respectively. If we pick a room from the list, such as Ballroom A in the example, the detail of Work With Device's room is invoked to see the details of the selected room. If this application is installed on an iPad, the list of sessions scheduled in this room will be displayed. In addition, at the top we see something similar to a button to expand called Map. If we tap on this button, what will happen at runtime? A map will be displayed showing the room's location in the floor plan of the event venue. If we tap on the button again, we see that the little arrow's orientation has changed. Why is this? The map is collapsed, and we see only the button. How do we do this? How is it implemented? We already know how to overlap controls because we've just seen it, and it's done with a canvas control. In this layout we have, in the same screen area, the overlapping of a grid, which shows the sessions, with a table containing an image of the map and a button. This is the overlapping taking place. Therefore, to implement this, we will have to insert a canvas table, where we will place the grid and the table containing the map and the button. This table containing the map and the button will be called Map Table. And now we will see what we need it for. At design time, we don't see overlapping controls because it isn't a WYSIWYG editor, precisely to work with each one of them in the design stage. But as we've seen, at runtime it is shown as it should. Also, live editing is available to test it, so we don't need to see them overlapped here. Okay, so in addition to providing the grid and table absolute positions, with the properties of the absolute position group, we use the z-order property to indicate that the grid will be below the table, as we can see here. We set z-order equals 1 to the grid, and z-order equals 2 to the table. The overlapping table has two rows, one of 600 dip, which contains the room map attribute with the image of the room map, and another one of 25 dip, which contains the button that has a theme class assigned, map down, where the image displayed at runtime is configured. When we invoke the object for the first time, why do we only see the expand map button at the top, as if the entire table had moved 600 dip upwards, leaving the image outside the layout space? In this blue line, we're indicating the canvas top position. This behavior we've just described is set by the class that we assigned to the table. Table map collapsed. This class was created by us when we developed a theme for iPad. So we see that this class has a transformation assigned. This transformation will be defined by the developer within the theme itself, and that's where the behavior seen at runtime, translation, is specified. The control that has the class with this transformation associated with it will be moved from translate by, as shown below, the indicated point x, y, anchor point x, anchor point y, those are in the y-axis, 600 dip upwards, value y equals negative 600 dip below the translate group, taking the form as coordinate origin relative to 0.00 of the form equals the upper left vertex. In this case, the table will be moved 600 dip upwards. Because it's on the screen margin, this movement will leave the image out, as we saw in the previous slide. This causes the room map image to disappear. Note that the table class has the animated property set to true, as we can see here, and this will cause the shifting to be noticeable when the table is extended and then collapsed. This is to say, when the table is extended, we tap on the button, and it moves in this animated way. So how is this all programmed? When the table is moved upwards, that is to say, when it's collapsed, which is the same as not expanded, we will want it to expand when the user clicks on the map button, which is the same as having it displayed in the same way we see it at design time, but in an animated manner, giving the impression of movement. Likewise, the button's image must change in both cases. The button that has the map down class of the theme configured at design time, which, as we can see, is the one that shows the image in this way. But there is another class, map up, which has the other image configured. So in the expand event, associated with the button that is also called expand, we will program its behavior in both cases, when the information is expanded and when it's collapsed. How do we do this? We simply change the classes of the table and the button depending on each case. For example, when the table is expanded and the button is clicked on, this if will be accessed. What we see is that the class of the table containing the image of the room and the button is replaced with table map collapsed. This is the one that has the translation transformation we saw earlier. The desired effect will take place there. That is to say, it will seem to move upwards, that the room image goes up and then disappears. Also note that the button's class is changed to display the one with the little arrow pointing downwards. In addition, a hidden variable will be used in the table as a switch to turn on and off in order to indicate when it's collapsed and when it's expanded. To give the table an expansion movement, which is the opposite of what we've been studying, we will also have to define a transformation in the opposite direction, which is similar. In sum, the canvas control is a container of controls that allows its contents to take absolute positioning. Among other things, this will allow us to overlap controls. In addition, transformations allow a layout control to be moved, scaled, resized, or even rotated at runtime. To this end, special classes are defined under the Transformations node of the theme. This is all we wanted to study about layout controls, so let's move on to the next topic.